This is Brandon with Fleet Feet, and today we are at the Brooks HQ in Seattle, Washington. I'm here with Brittany Gleaton, and she is the footwear product line manager, and we're going to walk through the new Brooks Glycerin Max.
So we're super excited. This is the all-new shoe from Brooks. And there's a couple of really cool stories that it's bringing to life. So I would say, you know, the two main insights that are driving this shoe is first the idea that runners don't want to compromise, right? And so previously, to get more cushion, you kind of get a little too soft, or if you want that pop, that responsiveness, maybe you get a little bit too firm. And so one of the really great things about this DNA-tuned material that we can talk about a bit more is that the runners no longer have to compromise. They're getting the best of both worlds. So we're really excited about that. The second is that runners just want to feel kind of effortless on the run. They want the run to feel a little bit easier. We hear that over and over again. And so that's part of what they're getting through the Max profile of this shoe. So it's the combo of those two things that are really driving the newness and the style.
So one of my biggest questions about this shoe is the Max line. Brooks has kind of shown that they're not just making the Glycerin Max, but they've come out with the Hyperion Max and a few other shoes. What can we expect from the Glycerin and the Max line here? Tell us a little bit about the Max story and why it's so important to the runner today.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the Max story, like I said, comes from this insight that runners tell us all across the board. They don't really want to feel too much effort when they run. Like ideally, if we gave them a magic wand, what would they do? They'd make the run feel easier. And so that's one of the beautiful things about what the Max profile is offering in our various styles is that this kind of like rocker geometry just helps assist the foot a little bit and moves them through that gait cycle a little bit easier. And so it makes the run feel just a tad bit more effortless. And it's really cool because it comes to life in a variety of styles. You mentioned the Hyperion Max for someone who wants to pick it up and go a little bit faster, or the Ghost Max for someone who's maybe going a little bit slower, recovery runs, walking. And then now in this new Glycerin experience where it's just like the ultimate luxurious kind of cushion underfoot.
All right, so let's just start with the upper. What is the upper made of?
Engineered triple jacquard material. So what that means is they're kind of getting the most premium textile next to foot. Also, we're able to engineer all three layers of the material. So you get structure where needed and nice breathability where the runner will benefit. So you can see that come to life kind of in the forefoot in these through holes.
And like you mentioned, the big story here is the new midsole foam, which is DNA tuned.
Yes.
And I've gone on a few runs in this shoe already and absolutely loved it. One of our other reviewers, Max, has already gotten over 40 miles in his pair and absolutely loved it and said it's one of his favorite Brooks shoes that he's ever worn. I can confirm that this is probably my favorite Brooks shoe that I've ever worn too. But yeah, tell us a little bit about DNA tuned and what the midsole here is made of.
Okay, great question. Yeah, so you might remember our DNA Loft V3, which was our kind of like ultimate cushion soft material that was nitrogen infused. So we've leveled up using that nitrogen infusion process, and we've actually been able to kind of manipulate the zones of the shoe. So I have a cutout here that kind of really shows what I'm talking about. But basically, there are two different cell sizes within the nitrogen foam. So there's the large cell, bigger surface area, a little bit more compliant, softer. And then there's the small cell, so a little bit smaller, closer together, a little bit more responsive. We're able to combine these both in one seamless midsole bottom unit. So no glue, no kind of like extra layers of rigidity. It's just completely seamless. So that way the runner gets this nice, soft, compliant landing, a very smooth, seamless roll through to the forefoot, and then a more responsive toe off. And it's really cool because you can see it visually. So we strategically colored a few of the versions where you can see this like yellow pop in the forefoot. That's where all the small cell is. It's going to be like super responsive. And then that white kind of casing that you see all around is the super soft foam. Mm-hmm. So I love this cutout, it shows it really well.
So the yellow is going to be more responsive, a little bit of a faster toe off transition, whereas this is going to keep a more stable ride and maybe just, it's still very soft, but it's going to absorb a lot more impact.
Sure, yep, totally. Soft and then just compliant, kind of like luxury feel on the lay down.
For those who love the Glycerin 21 and they want to try out the Glycerin Max, what would you tell those individuals?
Yeah, so I would say that the reason we're calling Glycerin, and it's part of the Glycerin franchise, is because the promise of it is very similar to Glycerin. So the Glycerin's kind of always stood for ultimate luxury, as premium as you can get, super soft, comfortable. So that continues here with the Glycerin Max. Max. I think the thing that the runner will be surprised by is, like I said, that rocker transition that just kind of makes the run feel a little bit more effortless, and then also the update with DNA tuned.
The last thing I gotta say is I absolutely love the look and aesthetic of this Brooks shoe. It's not that similar to other Brooks shoes that I've seen in the past. This one definitely stands out from a design aesthetic. Is this a design aesthetic that we're gonna start to see move across the board in other Brooks shoes as well as you guys continue to innovate?
Yeah, we definitely have been taking some bigger swings when it comes to design. It's great that it's getting noticed. Obviously, the design should speak to the performance of the style. So what I love about this shoe is we're really kind of elevating the cushion, making that the hero story, highlighting the bottom unit of the shoe because that's what it's about. Even small details like the blown out path logo.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about this shoe. It really adds that cool factor that I'm loving.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna continue to be super thoughtful about things like that, and you'll see some really unique and probably unexpected designs come to life from us in the future.
That's great. All right, well, that's everything we've got so far with the Brooks Glycerin Max, but stay tuned because we will have a full review on YouTube coming soon.